It's one thing to get hacked because you did something, maybe unknowingly clicked a link or followed a call to action from malicious actors. It's another thing entirely to be hacked for doing nothing. You're just on your own, minding your business, feeling safe, and suddenly you realize you've been compromised. I think the pain of that will be special. You'll probably feel it around the left side bottom corner of your heart. I don't even know what that means, but that's the kind of pain that comes with zero-click hacks. And yes, they're real. They've happened before. And in this video, we're going to talk about how your phone can be hacked without you lifting a single finger. Sounds like a dystopian movie plot, right? Well, it's not. It's a terrifying reality known as a zero-click attack. And it means your phone, right here, right now, could be an open book to someone you never even knew existed. For years, we've been told the golden rules of cybersecurity. Don't open unknown attachments, don't click suspicious links, always use strong passwords. And while those rules are still crucial, zero-click exploits completely bypass them. They exploit vulnerabilities in the very core of your phone's operating system, or widely used apps like messaging platforms, allowing attackers to gain full control without any interaction from you. From an attacker's perspective, the hunt for a zero-click vulnerability is the holy grail. It begins with months of deep research, often involving reverse engineering the code of a target application, like iMessage or WhatsApp. They are looking for a very specific type of flaw in a part of the app that processes data automatically before you even see it on screen. Attackers use a technique called fuzzing, where they bombard the application with trillions of malformed garbage data packets, waiting for one to cause a crash. That crash is like a keyhole. It signals a weakness, a memory corruption bug that can be weaponized. The goal is to find a flaw in a default trusted app that has deep permissions into the operating system, creating the perfect silent entry point. So, how does the attack itself work? Let's use the infamous forced entry exploit as our blueprint. The attacker sends an iMessage containing a malicious file, in that case a PDF file disguised as a GIF. The victim doesn't have to click or open it. iMessage's image rendering library automatically processes it to generate a preview. This is where the trap is sprung. The malicious file is crafted to trigger a buffer overflow, a classic memory corruption technique. Imagine the app has a small cup, a memory buffer, designed to hold a certain amount of water, data. The attacker's file pours way too much water into it. The water overflows and spills onto the table, adjacent memory, overriding the legitimate instructions there with the attacker's own malicious code. This initial code is a tiny loader or stager. Its only job is to establish a covert connection to the attacker's server and download the main payload, the Pegasus spyware itself. That is the zero-click chain. An invisible message triggers a memory flaw, which executes a loader, which then installs the spyware, all without the user ever knowing. It's a fundamental breakdown of the trust we place in our devices. No clicks, no downloads, no suspicious behavior on your part. You're just using your phone as intended, and the attack happens invisibly in the background. So, how does it work? Think of it like a highly sophisticated digital ghost. The attacker sends a specially crafted, often invisible message or data packet to your device. This isn't a text message you see, or an email that lands in your inbox. It's something that exploits a hidden flaw in the code of an app like iMessage, WhatsApp, or even your phone's default email client. When your phone processes this seemingly innocuous data, the vulnerability is triggered. It's like a secret handshake that says, "I'm in." Malicious code is then executed, all in the background, without a single notification or flicker on your screen. The process is so fast and so seamless that the victim has no idea it's even happening. What can they do once they're in? Pretty much anything. They can gain full, unrestricted access to your device. This includes turning on your microphone and camera to spy on your conversations and surroundings, reading all your messages, from text to encrypted apps, stealing your photos and personal files, and tracking your location with pinpoint accuracy. They can turn your most personal device into a surveillance tool, a digital spy operating right out of your pocket without you ever knowing it. Now let's talk about real-life examples, because that's where the true gravity of zero-click attacks hits home. One of the most infamous examples involves the NSO Group, an Israeli cyber arms company, and their notorious Pegasus spyware. Pegasus is a masterclass in zero-click technology. It's designed to infiltrate iPhones and Android devices silently, allowing governments and intelligence agencies to monitor high-value targets. This isn't something a casual hacker uses. It's a state-of-the-art weapon. A prominent case came to light with the alleged targeting of Jamal Khashoggi, a Saudi journalist. Reports suggest that his devices, and those of individuals close to him, were targeted with Pegasus. The zero-click capability meant the attackers didn't need to trick anyone. They could simply compromise the device and access critical intelligence that potentially aided those who sought to silence him. Another chilling example involves the phones of journalists and human rights activists around the world. In Mexico, dozens of journalists and lawyers investigating corruption and human rights abuses were reportedly targeted with Pegasus. The spyware was allegedly delivered via zero-click exploits in SMS messages or through vulnerabilities in WhatsApp. These aren't just one-off attacks. They are part of a broader pattern of sophisticated digital repression. More recently, Apple itself has issued warnings and patches for zero-click vulnerabilities. In 2021, a zero-click exploit, dubbed FORCEDENTRY, was discovered being used to deliver Pegasus to iPhones. This exploit specifically targeted iMessage, meaning simply receiving a message, even if you didn't open it, could compromise your device. Apple swiftly released updates to patch this, highlighting the constant, high-stakes cat-and-mouse game between attackers and security researchers. As soon as one vulnerability is patched, they are already searching for the next one. And it's not just iPhones. Android devices are also susceptible. While the architecture might differ, the principle remains the same. Find a flaw in the code that can be exploited without user interaction. Security researchers are constantly finding and reporting these vulnerabilities in various Android components and popular apps. The open-source nature of Android means there are more components to secure, creating a different but equally challenging security landscape. So, who are the targets of these sophisticated attacks? While zero-click exploits are incredibly powerful and expensive to develop, they are primarily used against high-value targets. We're talking about journalists, political dissidents, human rights activists, government officials, and high-profile business executives. These are individuals whose information is considered valuable enough to warrant such a covert and potent form of surveillance. However, the existence of these tools and their eventual discovery raises a critical question. What if these techniques fall into the wrong hands? What if, as these exploits become more commonplace, they are weaponized and used against everyday citizens? The barrier to entry for such sophisticated attacks could lower over time, making everyone more vulnerable, not just the targets of nation-states. The very nature of zero-click attacks makes them incredibly difficult to detect. Since there's no visible interaction, there are no telltale signs like suspicious app icons or weird pop-ups. Often, the only way these attacks are uncovered is through meticulous forensic analysis by cybersecurity experts, sometimes months or even years after the compromise has occurred. It's a silent, invisible threat. So, what can you, the average smartphone user, do about a threat that doesn't even require your input? While it's a daunting prospect, there are crucial steps you can take to minimize your risk and build a stronger defense against these highly advanced threats. First and foremost, keep your software updated. This is the most critical defense. Think of it as patching a hole in the armor of your device. When companies like Apple and Google release updates, they often include patches for newly discovered vulnerabilities, including zero-click exploits. These updates aren't just for new features. They are a vital layer of security. Turning on automatic updates ensures you're protected as soon as patches are available, without you having to even think about it. Be mindful of the apps you install. Stick to official app stores like the App Store and Google Play. While zero-click attacks exploit core vulnerabilities, having fewer unnecessary apps reduces your overall attack surface. The more apps you have, the more potential entry points exist. If an app doesn't seem necessary, it's best to not install it. Use strong, unique passwords for all your accounts and enable two-factor authentication, 2FA, wherever possible. While this doesn't prevent a zero-click attack on your device itself, it acts as a crucial barrier if your credentials are somehow compromised through other means. Even if an attacker gains access to your phone, having two-factor authentication on your most important accounts like banking and email can prevent them from taking over those services. Consider using privacy-focused messaging apps. While no app is 100% immune, some are built with stronger end-to-end encryption and a greater focus on security, making them harder targets. Apps like Signal, for example, have a strong reputation for their security architecture, making them a more difficult target for these kinds of exploits. Regularly review your phone's permissions. See which apps have access to your camera, microphone, location, and contacts. You might be surprised by what some seemingly simple apps have access to. Revoke permissions for any app that doesn't genuinely need them. For example, does a flashlight app really need access to your photos and contacts? Probably not. Being proactive about permissions can limit what an attacker can access even if they gain a foothold. If you are a high-value target, a journalist, an activist, or someone in a sensitive position, consider taking even more extreme precautions. This might include using burner phones for highly sensitive communications, encrypting your backups, and seeking advice from cybersecurity professionals. For these individuals, the threat is not theoretical. It's a constant reality that requires a heightened level of vigilance and security measures. The threat of zero-click attacks is a stark reminder of the ever-evolving landscape of digital security. It highlights that our devices, while incredibly convenient, are also potential vectors for unseen threats. As technology advances, so too do the methods of those seeking to exploit it. The threat is complex, constantly evolving, and deeply unsettling. But understanding the problem is the first step towards a solution. At Telarus, we believe that true security in this AI-driven threat landscape demands an equally intelligent defense. If the thought of an invisible threat compromising your organization keeps you up at night, it's time to act. Don't leave your cybersecurity to chance. We invite you to reach out to our experts for a personalized consultation that addresses your unique security challenges. Or, better yet, see our cutting-edge technology in action. Request a demo of our AI agent and witness how Telarus is revolutionizing threat detection and automated response. Visit Telarus.com today or find the link in the description below to connect with us. Protect your future intelligently. The takeaway isn't to live in fear, but to be informed and proactive. By understanding the nature of these sophisticated attacks and taking the necessary precautions, we can all contribute to a more secure digital future. Stay vigilant, stay updated, and stay safe. If you found this video as mind-bending as we did, make sure to show your support. Hit that like button to help this video reach more people and spread awareness about this invisible threat. Share it with friends and family. The more people who know about this, the safer we all are. And of course, subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next video on how to protect your digital life. Finally, we want to hear from you. Comment below and let us know your thoughts on zero-click attacks. Does this change how you think about your phone's security?